Hi everyone! I've been an artist for a very long time now, but surprisingly I've never done an art challenge, or at least I never committed to one. A lot of art challenges have to do with drawing every single day for a month, maybe following a list of prompts, maybe not. Those aren't really my thing personally, but I felt a sudden urge to do a 10 art styles challenge. The point of it is you just try to recreate different art styles. It can be from shows, cartoons, specific artists, the list goes on. I picked out 10 art styles for myself. Most of them were suggested by my Instagram followers as well. And I'll say right away, this was so fun and I'm pretty pleased with the results. But enough of me talking, let's begin. I decided to use my character Kat for this challenge. I've been drawing her a lot lately and I love her. She doesn't have that much of a story yet. She's 19, gay, is dating my other character Tasha, and is an art student. She loves cats, duh, and she's very sweet and happy and loves her partner very much. Her style is very coquette inspired, lots of pink, bows, frillies and pearls. Usually when I try to draw my characters it's kind of a disaster, I don't even know why, but with Kat the process is always fun and smooth. Art style wise, I think the main thing that sticks out is that I don't do line art and digital art. I just never like doing it digitally. I like it on paper, but in digital I just want to get to coloring as soon as possible. And most of the art styles I picked have line art, so that was something, for sure. The first art style I wanted to try was the jelly art style. I'm specifically using Puririka as inspiration since when you search jelly art style, she's the one that comes up first. The style is known for the big glossy eyes and lips, smooth rendering, neutral expression. Someone very suddenly becomes popular, they just as suddenly become hated. Now, I can't not mention the situation that Puririka was involved in. Very brief recap because this isn't the point of the video, but basically she exposed a young artist that she thought traced her. Turns out they didn't actually trace, but instead closely copied her style and I'm assuming used her tutorials, because yes, she made tutorials on how she draws, which is not a bad thing. So now Puririka was getting backlash, and later on a live she said she was happy she did this because she got clout from it, and she would do it again. At that time she was 18 and the other artist was 13. I left out a lot of details because, again, not the point of the video, but I just want to make it clear that I completely disagree with how Puririka handled the situation. I could see why she would think that the person traced her, but she should have at least tried to resolve it privately first instead of exposing them on her big TikTok account, a little child at that, and her doubling down on it really solidified it for me. She hasn't posted since then, as far as I'm aware. I just hope she becomes more responsible in the future. But while this was all happening, I kept seeing people making videos criticizing Puririka, rightfully so. But at some point it kind of went from talking about her actions to just calling her art ugly. People were calling it ugly, boring, saying she has same face syndrome, and of course making parodies, as it always happens with art drama on TikTok. I can't say that I completely disagree with the critiques. I agree that it is pretty repetitive. The faces and expressions are very similar or the same, and most of the drawings have just the face in it. However, to me it's not that much of an issue. I might not follow the person, but I would save the drawings for some inspiration or something like that. I don't think the style is ugly at all, and the coloring is genuinely really well done. I didn't watch Puririka's tutorials before doing this, just to be clear. But I found the process really fun and I like the result. I don't know if I'll use any of the techniques in my normal art, but at least as this one-time thing, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, disagree with the artist actions, but the style is cool. Sarah Kay or Vivian Cubis, or Cubis, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, is an Australian writer and illustrator of kids' books. Sarah Kay is her stage name and the name of the character she draws. It came from the name of her father's dog Sarah and the first letter of her last name, Kay. She was born somewhere in the 1940s, and I couldn't find much else about her. Sorry. I originally came across her illustrations on Pinterest and immediately fell in love. They look so delicate and there's so many little details. It's all so pretty. A lot of the characters are wearing bell bottoms or holding flowers, so I had to include that. And listen, I already said that I hate doing line art, right? And this drawing in particular, the line art was like 75% of the entire process, I swear. I sat there for a solid hour and a half just doing the line art, and it's still not nearly as intricate and detailed as the original, especially on those flowers. But despite that, I'm still happy with the result and myself for not giving up and finishing this, because this is far, and I mean far, from my comfort zone. The coloring was pretty simple though. I used sketching and watercolor brushes, added some in-app patterns to make it less flat, and played with the line art at the end. Overall, this was a very fun experiment, and I think it is pretty good. Next style is the Equestri Girls style. Equestri Girls is a spin-off of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. The first movie came out in 2013, and since then 3 more movies came out, as well as a web series. The plot of the spin-off is about an alternate universe, where the pony characters are humans, and also high schoolers. And the spin-off was created mostly to sell dolls and other merch, since at the time fashion dolls were huge on the market. I can't say I'm a huge fan of this style. I talked about it in some of my videos, but for me it's the proportions, most of the outfits, some of the color palettes, and just the lack of variety with a lot of the characters. But despite that, I still wanted to try it out. On this one, the outlines are thick and the inner line art is thinner. Also, unless the character has black in the design, everything is outlined with a darker shade of the base color. The coloring is pretty much just flat colors as well. I'm using Fluttershy as a reference because she fits Cat's personality. I had to adjust the body type though. Most characters in Equestri Girls have the same body type. And I don't bring it up to trash talk the movies or anything. I understand that it makes the animation process easier to reuse the character bases, but you know, Cat is plus size, so I wanted to mention that. I honestly don't have much to say about the drawing itself. I finished it pretty quickly. I don't hate it, but it is definitely not my favorite from this video. Next is the 2010s Monster High art style. It's just iconic. It just is. Monster High started all the way back in 2010. The first generation lasted 5 years, got a reboot in 2016, but that didn't last very long. And in 2022, the third and current generation started. There's numerous movies, web series, and of course, dolls. Monster High was a huge part of my childhood. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the original dolls back in the day, and I'm not in America, so I can't get the creep productions. But I do have a few G3 dolls, and I really like them. I'm not gonna compare all the generations and designs because this isn't what the video is about. This drawing in particular felt very nostalgic to me, not only because Monster High was my childhood, but also because this is exactly what I used to do when I was a kid. I would closely copy pictures of my favorite cartoon characters, sometimes changing the designs to fit my own characters. I did that on paper though. The original style is very iconic, like I said. It's super stylized, very angular. The parts that stick out to me the most are the faces, huge shoes, and of course the designs themselves. I actually want to mention G3 for a little bit. I like the box art they have now, I really do. It's different, but to me it still has that essence of the original generation, though most of the designs are questionable to say the least. I don't know what this was though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't like that. Anyway, I again had to adjust the body to fit Cat. The thing about G1 and G2 is that the characters all have pretty much the same body type. Some of them are just a little bit taller or a little bit shorter. And again, I'm not bringing this up as a bad thing, but I have to mention G3 again because now we have a lot more body diversity, which I like a lot. Okay, this isn't a Monster High rant. The drawing. I had a lot of fun with it, and it's one of my favorites from this video. The next few styles are very simple, so I'll go through them quickly. First up is Adventure Time. It was requested multiple times. Adventure Time is a TV series that premiered in 2010 on Cartoon Network. At first the plot was very simple and silly, and as the show went on, the plot became more serious, and in 2023 it got a spin-off called Fiona and Cake. I really liked Adventure Time as a kid, though I don't think I've watched it all, even to this day. I really liked Fiona and Cake as well. The art style of the show is extremely simple. The faces are just simple smiley faces, the shapes are smooth, the line art is all the same thickness, and the hands and feet are also extremely simplistic. I used Flame Princess as my reference because her body shape matched Cat pretty well. Actually, I could have used Fiona as well. Anyway, this drawing was very quick, very simple. I think I captured the art style pretty well, and I guess that's what matters. Next is Over the Garden Wall art style. This one was suggested multiple times, that's mostly why I chose it. I've never actually seen the show, but the style and aesthetics of it are very cute. It's in another Cartoon Network show, this time from 2014. It's very short, consisting of just 10 episodes, so maybe I should sit down and watch it. The art style is very round, simple. Some characters have circle noses, others have triangle ones. I remember when I would draw noses as just straight up triangles, I would get comments comparing my style to Over the Garden Wall. At the time I was confused, but now I can definitely see it. As for the drawing, it might be my least favorite from this video, probably because I don't know anything about the original media, so I wasn't sure what I was doing. I used one of the human characters for my reference. This was also one of the last drawings I did, so I feel like it looks a little sloppy. I don't know. Did I get the style right? Let me know in the comments. Next style is South Park. It's an animated show made by Matt Stone and Trey Parker back in 1997, and it's still ongoing. It's full of vulgar humor, political humor. It makes fun of pretty much everything and everyone. If you're young, I would not recommend watching it, but it's definitely a very fascinating and engaging piece of media. I actually have drawn in this style before, kind of. It was more like redesigning the characters. I added a lot of my own details, but here I wanted to make it more accurate to the show. This was also the last drawing I did, and I was getting tired, so I just drew over one of the characters instead of referencing it. The style is extremely simple. It's all simple shapes, flat colors, not a lot of details at all. I added some paper texture here and there as well. Yeah, that's about it. Next, I chose the Walton Files. It's an analog horror series here on YouTube created by Martin Walls. It started in 2020, had a long pause, but there's new episodes coming out currently actually. In terms of art style, there's not really a one specific style to this series. Some characters are drawn, others are photoshopped pictures, but something they have in common is elongated facial features and the grimy look. Everything just looks really dirty and shadowy, but it helps with the atmosphere in my opinion. I chose this picture of Jenny as my reference because she fits Cat the best, and I'm not photoshopping any pictures. The style is another one that I used to get compared to, mostly because of the triangle noses. A few times I got asked if my style was inspired by the Walton Files. It wasn't, but I see where the comparison was coming from. This drawing was super quick as well. I just did some simple shapes with a lasso tool. For shading I airbrushed black. I said airbrushed black, and added some noise and glitch filters on top. This one is very silly looking and I love it, and I recommend checking out the series. It's become one of the analog horror staples at this point, and I think it's a good place to start getting into the genre. That's it for more simple styles. Next one is Stardew Valley. It's a really cool farming simulator made by Concerned Ape in 2016, and it recently got a new update. I got into this game maybe last year, I don't exactly remember, but for me it's also the first game that I actually bought with my own money. Usually I don't play farming games for very long, mostly because a lot of them involve real life time. What I mean is, for example, you want to build a barn, but then you have to wait real life time for it to get built. It can be an hour, multiple hours, a day, or multiple days. Or you can pay money, or watch an ad, and skip the waiting time. I hate it. I hate it. It immediately ruins the experience for me and I delete the game. But in Stardew Valley, you still have to wait for the barn to get built, but you have to wait in-game time instead of real-life time. So if the barn takes, let's say, 3 days to get built, you can literally just immediately go to bed and skip the 3 days. Boom, you have a barn. There's also a really good balance between plot, tasks, and free will for me. I can run around completing missions and finding items for the community center, and I can spend a week just chopping trees or mining all day. Oh, and you can build relationships with other characters, which is really fun as well. Okay, enough yapping, the art style. Of course, everything in the game is pixels, but I kinda cheated here a little bit. I didn't draw in pixels, I just drew it normally and then put a pixel filter on top of it. My coloring is definitely not as detailed as in the game. I was getting a little tired at this point, I'm gonna be real. I chose to do a character portrait for this, but thinking about it now, it would have been cute to do a little character sprite as well. Too late now, I guess. Overall, I think this one turned out nice, but I definitely could have put more effort into it. And the last art style for today is the Sailor Moon art style. It's a manga and anime series that has existed since 1992. It's very iconic, but I actually have never read or watched it, oddly enough. I'm not really into anime anymore, I don't know. I was very tempted to just draw over a reference or a base. It doesn't show up in the speed paint, but it took me like 3 tries before I was satisfied with the face I drew. The style is very cute though, and the line art was easy enough to replicate. I also ditched doing a full body and went for a bust instead because, again, I'm tired. I can't really say much else about this one, to be honest. I like it though, it's definitely like in my top 4 drawings from this. Jelly Style is first, Sarah K second, Monster High is third, and this one is fourth. Yeah. And I think Cat fit a lot of these styles really well. It was a great excuse to draw more and come up with more outfits for her. And this is it! Some of the drawings turned out better than others, but I'm proud of myself for completing this challenge, and doing so much, just so much line art. Let me know which style you like the best. Maybe you have some more art style suggestions? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, I hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out my other socials, they will be on the screen and in the description. Stay safe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!